This is Bob G. This is Jordan reporting live MCACN 2024. And Jordan, tell us about some of your wonderful cars here. I'm so intrigued about the LED8 Corvette doing 9.0s in a quarter.
Yeah, so we brought 6 cars here to the MCACN car show. The first one that we're looking at is my dad's '69 Corvette. We race this car in the Fast Racing Series. So what that is factory appearing stock tire. The car looks 100% original. It's got original exhaust manifolds, original intake on it, original cylinder heads. This engine right here is 560 cubic inches, and this car just reset the record at a 901 at 151 mile an hour. We also race on the original bias ply style tires. They're not the original tires, they're reproduction from like Coker Tire or somebody. So it's a real Firestone wide oval. And we also brought a few tires to display what they look like before we put them on the back, and then after we put them on the back and burn them down, make them look like a slick basically, and then they start working pretty well. We do 60 foots in mid 130 range if it's on a good pass. Like this 901 pass was a 135 60 foot, so the cars get down and move pretty quick. All right, so the next car we brought, you guys saw my dad's Corvette. Now I'll show you my mom's Corvette. We do this as a family. So this is my mom's '69 Corvette. It's an L88 clone, just like the other car. This car has a 514 cubic inch big black Chevy in it, and she just went last month was our last race in Cecil County, and she just went 939 at 149 mile an hour. This car basically is the same as the black car I just showed you, besides the engine, a little bit smaller, short stroke, big bore. We spin this thing to like 8,200 RPMs, and really helps keep this thing hooked up by spinning the RPMs real high. She really hasn't, go ahead. She had to take a year off of racing, and she just got back in the car, so we really haven't unleashed it down low to make it 60 foot real good yet, but probably next year she'll be running just as fast as the other cars. All right, so this car is actually really special because going along with the family theme, this is my grandpa's '69 Z28. And not only is it a Z28, it is a original 3,800 mile car that has been hidden away in my grandpa's basement since 1980 when he bought it. Little story about the car: he tried to buy it in 1971, which was the last time the car was ever registered. Still got a 1971 Michigan plate on it. Original owner wouldn't sell it, but the car was sitting outside under a tree. It actually had a battery sitting on the fender, which is why the fender is kind of acid washed and got stains on the fender. But finally in 1980, he was able to purchase the car and basically shoved it in the corner of his garage, and then when he moved, he redid his basement and stuck this thing in his basement. And this weekend is the first time this car has ever been seen by the public. Multiple Camaro judges have been over here crawling all over it, talking about how nice it is. It's got a few things that aren't original. The car was drag raced back in '69 and '70, so some stuff was, replaced or broken, but it is a very clean, very original '69 Z28 that nobody has ever seen till this weekend. All right, so this car has not been around as long as the '69 Z28, but this car has been around the family since probably like 92, 93. It is a original paint 1968 RSSS 396 375 horse Camaro. This car is kind of what started, you can kind of say this car started the Fast Racing Series. My dad ran this car at the Pure Stock Muscle Car Drags around 98, 99. But because this thing is so nice and so original, because it's only got 20,000 original miles, original paint, original number match engine, tranny, the whole nine. Because it's that nice of a car, he ended up parking this and building another '68 Camaro, which is what was the cheater car in the Pure Stock Drags, and that's what started the Fast Racing Series, was the guys that were cheating in the Pure Stock Muscle Car Drag Race. But a little bit more about this thing. It is a 2-owner car. My dad bought it off the original owner. He's got all the paperwork for it, the window sticker. He's got the build sheet, Protecto plate, all that for it, so totally documented. Does have the Kragers put on it that were put on actually because he took the wheels off and put them on another car, the original wheels. But other than the Kragers, which I personally think actually look good on it, the car is 100% original. The gentleman that he bought this car from had a L88 motor in it back in the 70s. The car was street raced a bunch, and then we've actually got time slips from this thing from Osceola Dragway, which is our local drag strip that actually ended up getting shut down a couple years ago. But the car with the L88 engine went 1133 at 130 mile an hour back in like the mid 70s, which was super fast for back then. Guys, you might be thinking why we have a Pontiac Trans Am in with a bunch of our Corvettes and Camaros. Long story short, we bought this car at a salvage auction. The car was flooded in Hurricane Ian, and not only was it just flooded a little bit, this thing had water, salt water, from the ocean over the front fenders. I've got pictures of the car with a water line in the middle of the gauges, and we bought this car to restore, bring back to running and driving condition. It's original numbers match motor. It's got the original Turbo 400 tranny in it, and this thing just runs and drives great. When we got it back, we actually drained the water out of the engine. We drained the water out of the transmission, the rear end, and ended up putting a new set of spark plugs in it, a new wiring harness, and the thing fired up and ran perfect. And then we actually used this car, if you want to come around here to the back of it, we use this car to burn down and break our tires in on all of our race cars, which is why it's got like an inch of rubber on the quarter panel. So it doesn't just sit and look good. We actually put the thing to work, and it does a perfect job at doing what we needed to do, and that's break down our tires for our race cars. All right, so you guys have seen my mom's car and my dad's car, and I told you guys we do this as a family. So this is my 67 L88 clone. We actually bought this car with intentions to fully restore it. We bought it wrecked, needed a front end put on it, but what made it special was it was an original 427, 435 horse car, and we do know where the original engine is. We didn't get it with the car, but we do know where the engine is at. So we were planning on getting the original engine, putting the car back together original, and then we thought, well, why do that? Because then it's gonna just sit in the corner and never get driven. And we've got a few of those, as you have seen already, that just don't get driven. So made the plans to make it a race car. So this thing has a 560 cubic inch big block Chevy built by BES Racing, Turbo 400 tranny, has a 410 rear gear. And this car, up until the last event where my dad went 901, this car was the record holder in fast at a 910 at 138 mile an hour. We rebuilt the whole car, and we rebuilt the whole car in our shop in northern Indiana at Horsepower Depot. We put the front end on ourselves. My grandpa painted the car. I did all the fab work, built the roll cage. It was, I don't know if I would say it was fun, but it was kind of something to be able to take a hacksaw and cut through the floors of a real 435 horse car, because nobody ever does that nowadays. And not that it felt good, but it felt good to make it a race car and make it something legendary that people remember.
Great. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a great interview. I just love those fast cars. This is Bob G. and
Jordan Pennington.
Signing off. MCACN 2024. Take care now, ladies and gents.